Hey guys, I'm going to waterproof stain these planters, and one of the things you can do is using a clear stain which basically shows the natural color of the wood. You can add tint to it. This is what I'm doing. This is the kind of like a dark brown color to stain it, but it's still clear, so the grain of the wood is gonna come through. Or you can do solid color, which is basically completely covering this, like what would you see with a regular paint. I did my own planter with solid white, so it's basically just all white. Make sense? Alright, well, you will see what happened with this one when I get started. The type of the stain or waterproofing I use is this one. Transparent waterproofing wood finish, and I have it tinted Cordova brown. I like the color. It's just enough brown to make it look like espresso. One thing to keep in mind when you're staining or when you're painting wood is to follow the grain of the wood. So obviously the legs is going vertical, so as much as you can, do the stroke up and down. Yes? It's just not gonna look nice if you start doing a cross, because you're gonna see the brush stroke is gonna go all over the place. Obviously, if you use spray, that's a different story. But you don't really use spray to apply stain. And sometimes it's kind of unavoidable that you're gonna do a horizontal brush stroke like that when needed. But just right after that, you kind of do want to do a once over with the correct direction of the grain. So for example, on the long side, the grain is obviously horizontal, but I need to paint this side of the leg, and it is horizontal. So, it's vertical. So on this long side, you'll see a vertical stroke. So that's why I did that first, because then I can go it over with the proper brush stroke. It's more forgiving if your stain is not as thick, or it's not as deep in color, or it's not solid. If it's just clear stain, it's more forgiving, because then you can't really see it, because the stain is just gonna get absorbed. But when it has pigment like this, it might show up. I'm just saying, on certain type of wood surface, if the wood surface is smooth especially, you'll see the brush stroke. And make sure that you don't apply too thick of a coat, because you can always do it again the second layer, so it's not drippy and it's not going all messy all over the place. Okay, and that's done. So after the whole thing is done, I usually do inspect the box and make sure I didn't miss anything. And usually, the nice thing about stain is they dry pretty fast, like that. So I usually go over and add final touches, just kind of like figuring out what I like to be a bit darker and what I like to keep it kind of just light, and evening up some things. For example, there's an extra brush, like an extra stain over here that I just kind of clean up, so there's no unnecessary build-up, like drip marks, things like that. So things are just details that I like to have on my box. So when I do it for someone else, you guys get the same level of whatever that I like. So things that are acceptable in terms of quality control, basically. And that's it. And it's really easy to do if you like to do it yourself. It is time consuming, and I know I speed up the process in the video. Just gonna show you what it is. Oh, like this part, for example. Just some heavy stain area that drips that I don't really like. Just like to even it out a bit. And make sure it doesn't look sloppy. Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty much it, guys. After this, I'm gonna line the box with painter's plastic. Or if you don't have painter's plastic and you only need to do one box, then I'll suggest just do heavy duty garbage bag or whatever heavy duty plastic that you have to line the bottom. The sides optional. Obviously you can line the sides if you like. It will help the moisture from going into the wood, so it will preserve the wood a bit longer. It's cedar, so it's naturally rot resistant, but any help we can give for the longevity of the box is always nice. Alright, just a little additional to staining your box, planter's box. You can also use solid stain, and solid stain is much heavier in consistency than the clear stain. So what we just used was a clear or transparent stain with a color in it, so it's tinted, so that's what gives that dark brown color. This one is a solid weatherproof stain and seal. It's also tintable, and this one actually for light base, so the base color is white. You can color yellow, red, orange, whatever you like. There's also a base for dark color, so if you want to do like say army green or burgundy or even black, then you use the other stain that's for deep base. So as you can see, the consistency is like more like ranch dressing, and when it's applied to the box, it's gonna look like paint on the wood. So I'm just gonna finish this one and moving on to lining the box.